Dear colleagues, dear partners, investors into the string transportation technology, and clients of our platform, RSW Systems, welcome. It's been a while since our last meeting, and I think that you all guys started missing each other, and now we're glad to see each other. Well, I at least am surely glad to see so many people today. Today is the 11th of October, Saturday, 7:10 p.m. Eastern European time. So I guess this is a very good time for to have our meetings. So we will move our regular meetings from Thursday to Saturday, I guess. Someone says I can't hear anything. Well, let's check our sound again. Give me a score from 1 to 10, dear friends, if you can see and hear me. So I see the sound is there. You're giving me tens. Good. It means that if you can't hear me, it must be a problem at your end, at the participants and who can't hear me. Good. So friends, let's do this. We haven't done it in a while. Let's do our roll call. Let's see what cities and countries we are from here. I would gladly read it out for you, the entire geography. So right now we have 250 people here. 251, 2, 3. It's and growing. So today, friends, we have St. Petersburg, Moscow, Sevastopol, Tabakam, Italy, London, Almaty, Kazakhstan, Tula, Crimea, Stuttgart, Altai region, Vietnam, India, Estonia, Pärnu, Moscow again. Then we have Birmingham, which is UK, United Kingdom, Estonia, Belgium, Germany, Riga, Tomsk, Yekaterinburg, Minsk from Belarus, Kokshetau, Kazakhstan. Then we have Grodno, Belarus again, Almaty, India. Then we have Chisinau, which is Moldova, Varda, which is India, Asy, Bashkiria, Uzbekistan, Siberia from Krasnoyarsk, Moldova, India, city Rourkela, Odisha, India, Riga, Omsk, India again, Pskov, Moscow, Belarus again, Belgium, Odessa, Ukraine, India, again, Bulgaria, England, Dnieper from Kiev, Germany, France, the United States of America, Spain, India, and lots of other countries and regions that I haven't read out. We have dozens of and hundreds of cities and dozens of countries, which is yet another proof that Unitsky string technology unites people from all over the planet. We have even Nepal, which is an important region for the development of the string transportation technology, and Helsinki, Finland. Cool friends. Now, today we are going to have quite an exclusive meeting. It hasn't been scheduled in this particular format, but it has been a event that I have been waiting for. I was able to go on a business trip to the United Arab Emirates, and it's been already a long time since I'm here, and I was very pleasantly surprised that over that short period of time, quite a lot of significant events, milestones happened in the development of the string transportation technology, which happened in the last 10 days. And I would like to take this occasion and to take this coincidence, but I don't think there are coincidences in our life. Everything happens for a reason, I guess. We have an opportunity firsthand to hear what are those three important events that pertain to all the inventions projects of Dr. Unitsky. I'm talking about three major projects, and we will hear that information from him. And after that, we will be able to make our conclusions. As investors, we will be able to predict how those events will facilitate the development or promote the development of the technology, and what we can do to make sure that technology stably develops, progresses in its development. I wanted to say right away, dear colleagues, that we're not going to take questions today. It's going to be purely informational meeting. So, of course, guys, you can talk to Dr. Unitsky in the chat. You will be able to welcome Dr. Unitsky, express your emotions, your feelings that you have. But, dear colleagues, we're not going to answer questions today because this is not a meeting for questions today, because Dr. Unitsky has a lot of things to tell us. He will take from 15 to 30 minutes, and then we will have a separate conversation, you and I, news related to the crowd investing project. So are you ready to meet our special VIP guest and hear the exclusive news firsthand, as they say? All ready. Okay, friends, now I'm giving the floor to Dr. Unitsky, and you can greet and meet him. You already started doing that. Good evening, everyone. Probably somewhere it's night already, somewhere it's still morning, because the geography is very extensive, I know. Max, you said it. Indeed, over the last couple of days, we had a lot of important events, and not just pertaining to the string transportation technology, but also me as the general designer of the string technologies. And one of such important events happened yesterday. Yesterday, we had a field meeting of the experts of the Union State. And that council of experts was consisted of very important people. They came to Marina Gorka in Belarus and had a meeting there dedicated entirely to string transportation, which happened yesterday on the 10th. And yes, of course, a lot of them saw us for the first time, saw with what we have achieved so far. Because a lot of people think that Marina Gorka is like a waste field, wasteland. There is nothing there, nothing works, everything is made of cardboard, etc. There was an opinion recently expressed by an international agency that yes, they have those cars suspended and they travel at 12 kilometers an hour. That's what they say. An international agency said that. So how can you beat that? I mean, what can you say? They absolutely having no proof saying that. So that high-level commission took rides on three types of our cars, U-Pods, 8-seater, 16-seater, and 48-seater. They were very, very impressed. It was quite a surprise for many of them. They were members of the Belarusian and Russian governments. So we're talking about supra state agencies because it's a union state, and that expert council can also have members from the members of the parliament, from the government too, and the way people, as I said, from Belarusian and Russian governments. It was a very high level meeting, and we received very serious support. And I can simply read out the meeting, the minutes of the meeting, and it's like a expert opinion of that commission. So the council proved the strategic importance of the string transportation for bringing together two states. And this transportation will become a catalyst for strengthening the technological sovereignty independence of Belarus and Russia. So for that, we need to speed up the certification of string transportation and develop the regulatory framework to scale up the technology. Second of all, to support the development of the test centers in the Emirates and Belarus to test the U-Pods, and also to create a working group, a focus group, to coordinate targeted projects in Belarus and Russia. Fourth, to recommend to include the project of high-speed transportation between Minsk and Moscow as a priority infrastructural project between the Union state. Fifth, to approve the creation of a pilot cluster on the track between Minsk and Moscow and to allocate land for that. Sixth, to develop an integrated roadmap for the project between Minsk and Moscow. And now they also add the Asian part of Russia, which is Vladivostok, Sakhalin, also in order to develop a track in the Asian part, and also to create a alternative to the Northern Sea route. So basically, there will be a potential land route which will copy the sea route in the north of Russia. Seventh, to create a consortium of research institute of Belarus and Russia to perform R&D of the new type of transportation and cluster type cities. So this was included in the minutes of the meeting, but there is a analytical website of the Union state, and they also posted some information there. So string transportation can solve the problem of transportation between two states. In order to solve the problems of transportation between the two states, probably a special decree between the union states should be made. And that's what a statement made by the high-level official that was part of the expert commission. And according to the state secretary of the union state, is the main problem is the inconsistencies in the different regulatory framework of two states that would facilitate the interstate travels. So probably discussing those technical issues, we need to make sure that there is a legal framework for that would prove the advantages of the string transportation. And one of the advantages is the economic feasibility, the cost effectiveness, and also the absence of the need for the railroad, of the rail tracks. And that the string can be laid over the main highway, M1, that goes from Brest, Minsk to Moscow. And it will be very similar to airlines they do not stop at the borders, they cross the border. And similar thing can be implemented for string transportation, because the current barriers at the border literally stops the development or hampers the development of the infrastructure between the two states. And string transportation can be a solution to removing that barrier. And M1 highway cannot be a full solution to that problem because it runs in two different states. And string transportation does not depend on the existing railroad infrastructure. That's why it's a huge advantage. And there is also no restrictive regulatory framework, which is also an advantage. Also, there is a strategic aspect to that project. Belarus, thanks to the R&D in string transportation, has become a leader in the area, which a huge competitive edge. Yes, already three national standards have been adopted for string transportation, and now those standards will be applied to all of the states of the Commonwealth of Independent States. Also, string transportation was offered as an alternative to the high-speed regular railroad track between Minsk, Moscow, St. Petersburg, which also involves a lot of ecological problems. And also the idea of the Chinese concept of linear cities can be adopted using this technology. And Mr. Glaziev evaluated this project as a holistic and very cost-effective project. And in conclusion, he offered that this project be implemented in the border regions of Belarus and Russia, especially where there is a huge demand for such transportation, the cross-border transportation. Those kind of important conclusions have been made and documents have been prepared. And they will be submitted for consideration by the governments, respective governments. Of course, those conclusions are of recommendational nature, and but Max says that sometimes recommendations can be both positive and negative. In this case, it's a very, very much positive recommendation, very positive feedback, and a lot of people who were there, both offline and online, were very impressed. Not a single negative comment has been made in relation to string transportation, only support and only positive feedback. And also, it has been said that we can become the stronghold of this particular technology in the world, especially after seeing what has been done in Ecotechno Park and in Aquarel. And also another project is being developed and built where the customer is the state, Belarusian state itself. Yes, that too. So I've been waiting for that for many, many years, dozens of years I've been going for that. And I remember my first proposal for high-speed track between Minsk and Moscow was given in 1997 when there was an international conference in Minsk on transportation corridors. And the ninth corridor was London-Paris, Berlin, Warsaw, the entire Europe, yes, Moscow to St. Petersburg, and then to the Far East. But because of the geopolitical situation, that all a lid was put on it, and I remember there were 11 European ministers of transportation, and back then when they were talking about it, they were talking about not only the land corridor, it's also airline corridor, railroad corridor. It's like a route that consists of all types of transportation, and also there should have been added a high speed vehicle system that would go as fast as 500 kilometers per hour. And still, they didn't come up with a high speed solution. And hopefully, that conclusion made by the High Council of Experts probably will be a springboard for implementing our transportation. And I remember the president of Belarus spoke highly of it, and now he's of big opinion of that transportation. So probably it will help us a lot. And also, what's good is that we were able to fund the development of the technology because we didn't receive any state funding. And the when we started a tour in the Ecotechno Park, we all started from the museum. Yes, there was a star sky there, like a cupola, a dome, and with a star full of stars. And then my idea was to make sure that every star represents an investor on that dome. And I'm sure quite a lot of people here have their name on those stars because they are investors, yes, and members of the council. We're very impressed by the high number of investors from across the world who invested in Belarus, my now country, because that's where everything was built. And that's where I created an engineering school that now has around 1,000 engineers who work, receive salaries, thanks to the thanks to the investors from our partners. So what else did we have? Oh, yeah, I wanted to add regarding the first event. Yes, dear colleagues, there will be information published on the UST website, and also it will be in the news feed on our website, RSW Systems. You will be able to see pictures from that event. You will see the level of officials that participated in that scientific expert council. Yes, it's scientific expert council of the Union State. Yes, it's a very high recognition of the technology at such a high level, and it is my firm belief that it will give another boost to the development of the technology at a completely different level, at a completely different scale. Yes, we're talking about a completely different level of support for sure, and you will see official information about it, dear colleagues. When I heard about it yesterday from Dr. Unitsky, I was very impressed. And of course, I asked Dr. Unitsky to take the occasion as the author and creator and general designer of UST to deliver that news to you firsthand on our at our meeting. And the second event, Dr. Unitsky, I guess, is your recognition in the United Arab Emirates as a scholar, as a scientist. What kind of a title you were given? Yes, I've become a professor at Dubai University. Yes, Dr. Unitsky has become a professor in one of the leading Dubai universities. Yes, it's a kind of recognition of my scientific work and my scientific pedagogical work activities. 1,000 engineers working in our school at our school. It is me who trained them, who taught them. So all that knowledge in the area of the string transportation was imparted by me. Like, the first team of astronauts, when they picked the first team, they decided whom to add there. Should it be doctors? Should it be teachers? Should it be scientists? And they decided to add the test pilots that test airplanes because they are quick to make decisions. They will not they will never hesitate in a difficult situation. They are quick on their feet, and they became used to accustomed to high loads, and that's why they decided to make the first team of astronauts from test pilots. And then when I wanted to create that school, I thought about different countries like Germany, Lithuania, Indonesia, India, and I realized that it should be done in Belarus. And the first team should consist of transportation engineers, people who design cars, roads, rolling stock, railroads, And that was the core of our team. People who already knew, had knowledge about this kind of transportation or the design of overpasses. It was, of course, railroad overpasses, car overpasses, not string transportation overpasses. But eventually I was able to teach them. Yes, create an entire school. And it wasn't even one school. It's not even one school because we have a scientific school, which is a school of its own. Then we have a design school, like as part of the engineering school. So engineering school consists of sub schools. So yes, design and construction are two different things. So you need to teach them both. You need to understand the types of soil for the supports and for the overpasses. Then you need to understand the deformation values, the stress values of different structures, and then design as well, designing the engine, knowing the kind of bearings and bolts and screws and nuts, the management systems, etc., control systems. So, and we had to do it all from scratch from the string for the string transportation. And then add the production, the manufacturing lines here, because you need to also produce it to manufacture it. And now it has been recognized. Well, in the United Arab Emirates, not in Belarus, but still in Belarus, your school is a R&D institute, which is a very high level of recognition. But yes, we submitted a couple of times that application and they have rejected us. But, you know, it's also because of the competition, because the transportation guys, they see us as competitors. Like when the first trains appeared, all other transportation vehicles or kind of horse-driven carts and steamboats, they regarded trains as a huge competitor. And then airplanes came along, cars came along, of course. And the previous transportation vehicles considered the new transportation as a big competitor. And that's happening to us. But yesterday happened another thing that turned entirely the tables. That meeting of the high level officials that literally turned the tides in our favor. And they were members of the academia. So it's been a very significant event yesterday. And I'm sure, Dr. Unitsky, that in the near future, this year, next year, they will become a huge confirmation, a proof that yesterday's event has been like a big square one because the results will not be long in waiting. Yes, and one more event that happened less than 10 days ago. But before that, Dr. Unitsky, before you start talking about that event, dear colleagues, we all remember that in September, there was a conference, the 8th International Conference on Non-Rocket Space Industrialization. And we all know that the string transportation was a spin-off of the main global idea of Dr. Unitsky to bring all the production outside Earth to the orbit of the Earth. And remember, at the 8th conference, I told you that it was the biggest and most significant conference. And tell us, Dr. Unitsky, in the aftermath of that conference, what happened in your sector, in your area of activity, in your work? Well, I agree, this is one of the strongest conferences out of all the 8 conferences. And by the way, 8 is the sign of infinity. Very symbolic, yes. A lot of people are fond of the number 8. We had a biggest number of reports, around 40 different presentations and reports, scientific works I guess the entire collection is going to be like this, a couple of inches at least. And they covered all areas of knowledge, from transportation to space to interstellar travel, and also earthbound problems, how to make agriculture more environmentally friendly, or how to grow food in the space, outer space. But of course, before going to space, you have to test it on the ground. Also, there were biology related reports, philosophy related reports. Like, why do we need outer space? Why do we need it? Yes, there were a lot of discussions. And but of course, without exploring the outer space, there is no future for our civilization. But tell us, Dr. Unitsky, so what was so big about it? So what was so important about it? Yes, literally a couple of weeks after the conference. So, there is a international space agency that consists of NASA, Roscosmos, and other national space agencies. In Sydney, a week ago, there was a forum in Sydney, Australia, yet of that federation, international agency of aerospace, where a report was delivered on the all planetary transportation and outer space industrialization. And a lot of people were surprised by hearing it. They have never thought it was possible that people were working on it. And up to 10 million passengers can be brought to the outer space in just one trip. It's like an entire Belarus, and up to 10 million kilograms of cargo. And the cost effectiveness is 1,000 times lower than the current space travel. And there was just one organization represented from Belarus, and we were that only representative from Belarus at that agency. We've become members of that International Space Agency Association, Federation it's called. Yes, Federation. There were 7,500 participants. Yes, that event attended by 7,000 delegates. We're talking about high-level leading companies, SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, Boeing, NASA, and a number of others. And that was the level of representation. And 7,000 and a half members or delegates heard about non-rocket space industrialization. Yes, they also heard about string transportation. They were quite impressed, and they want to come to us, to Marina Gorka, to Belarus, and including the head of the federation. So yes, I think we're gonna receive very serious support from them. Someone is asking, is Elon Musk shocked? Well, he wasn't there, but I think he is, because he had his representatives there, and I'm sure his representatives were shocked. But I think Elon Musk knows about our project, because I remember I wrote him letters, open letters, I sent him materials, but he never replied to me. Yeah, they are fond of rocket space exploration. And rocket guys, they see us as their competitors, of course, us non-rocket guys. But now, since we started working in the United States, our meeting with Elon Musk will happen very soon, next year, I guess. There are all the reasons for that, all the premises for that. Yes, considering all those three pieces of news, we see that in every area we see not even growth, I think a rapid jump in global recognition of all the achievements and inventions of Dr. Unitsky. So the level of Elon Musk. Elon Musk will be reached out very soon. He will pay notice to it. And well, Dr. Nitsky, let's not say that you should meet Elon Musk as a beggar or as a guy who is asking. No, you'll be meeting him to give him an opportunity to co-author that technology. Yes, they will be asking us to include them and not the other way around. Yes, of course. So, Dr. Nitsky, thank you very much having, for dedicating your very precious time on a week, on a day off, to talk to us, to talk to our investors. I know that you very much appreciate our work, the work that we are doing, our crowd investing. Yes, of course, I do. I literally worship you guys because without you, it wouldn't be all possible. And I fully realize that. That's why I'm deeply, deeply grateful to all of you. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, dear investors. Thank you, Dr. Unitsky. On behalf of all our crowd investing community, I wish you even more success, more achievements, milestones, and progress and results, in addition to the results already achieved, and achieve new results, even higher peaks this year and next year. Thank you very much, Dr. Unitsky. Thank you. Well, dear friends, this has been an exclusive, non-scheduled meeting with Dr. Unitsky, and here firsthand this very exclusive information, and each of the pieces of news has a merit of its own and a whole reason for discussion. However, I think even in that short period of time that we have left until the end of our meeting, we can, in my opinion, make a number of key conclusions. Remember in 2014, 2016, 2018, when it all just started, when there was a wasteland in Belarus, there was an empty field, nothing on it. People were saying, naysayers were saying, no, it's not possible, nothing will be there. Now, in 2025, we have the highest possible level council of experts from Belarus and Russia recognizing and providing positive recommendational feedback for the technology. Such a high level of recognition. Have been national standards developed for the string transportation. One more thing that I forgot to say that Dr. Unitsky mentioned is that with one of the Belarusian universities, work is being done right now to prepare, to train personnel for the string transportation in the future. Like there are schools, specialties in the railroad transportation, now similar trainings and education will be provided in string transportation. As Dr. Unitsky always said, this is a sector forming in project, industry forming project, because it is something that hasn't been there before. Yes, we have an agreement with 20 universities, Dr. Unitsky says. An agreement was signed, cooperation agreement, 20 cooperation agreements were signed with different universities across the world. So yes, it is a very significant milestone that Dr. Unitsky has been going for dozens of years. And when in 2014 we just met the technology of Dr. Unitsky, remember how many different actions have been taken to discredit Dr. Unitsky, also in the scientific circles. Remember, people were digging dirt literally on Dr. Unitsky and pouring dirt, but now, thanks to us, he was able to create a school of 1,000 engineers, designers, and now the tide has been turned. The tables have been turned. Someone asked, was Mr. Glaziev at that meeting yesterday? Yes, Dr. Unitsky cited his article that he published. And Mr. Glaziev is a state secretary of the Union State of Belarus and Russia. And this is a very high level of representation. And now string transportation is a universal transportation. It will not only be implemented in Belarus and Russia, but also, I'm sure, we're going to have big news from other countries, from Europe, from other regions. I'm sure next year, probably in the very near future, there will be very good news coming from Europe in the area of string transportation. Our achievements speak for themselves, literally. Another thing that I wanted to point out, which is quite relevant when discussing the results with that we've just heard, literally yesterday, probably you all know our partner, the author of the crowd investing instrument, the augmented reality app, Dmitry Slusar. You know him from his videos about string transportation app, the augmented reality app. Yesterday, he sent me a very interesting message. It's about the artificial intelligence and what it says about string transportation. By the way, friends, do you often use GPT or similar AI tools? Quite a lot of you, right? Well, almost all of you. Like we did back with internet and we used Google. And if you didn't know an answer to a question, people would say, Google it up. And now you should say GPT it up, right? Right? So 2 months ago, I asked about UST and he said one thing, but to Dmitry, he said completely different thing because in reply to my question, it was very technical. But to Dmitry's question, it was very peculiar. So look, I will be reading it out for you from GPT. Dmitry is writing to me. I asked a question to GPT whether it understands what UST technologies are and how it is all implemented in the area. And here's what GPT said. Yes, I understand what you're talking about. UST is a transportation technology of string type, Unitsky string technology, that offers a complex of solutions for cargo, passenger, and high-speed transportation. Projects of such level pertain to infrastructural innovations, unlike IT startups. Here, the timelines are completely different. Certification, construction of test tracks, environmental assessments, permissions, standards, investment contracts take years. This is what GPT wrote. The UST technology is not standing still. The operation, certification, preparation of commercial lines take longer than expected. However, and GPT says, however, there are 2 demonstration platforms built and operating in Belarus and the United Arab Emirates. Certification has been received in the UAE and Belarus. Negotiations are being held and tests are being conducted within specific orders, including Middle East, Africa, India, and other countries. Basically, it's not a failure, it's a long R&D cycle where every phase requires state level coordination and approval. This is what GPT said. In my opinion, this is a very objective, unbiased reply or answer about what Dr. Unitsky is doing. So sometimes I'm surprised or even sometimes indignated, but because not everyone understands the scale. That people do not understand the scale and they live in their own imagination or misconceptions of how technology should be created, any technology, how it should be monetized, capitalized, and they start giving examples of Bitcoin, like cryptocurrencies. They start giving example of other some kind of digital innovations, etc. But the string transportation technology, friends, and everything related to it is not a digital asset. It's a huge infrastructural new sector of industry. So the reason I read out this message from ChatGTP that was shared with me by our friend and partner and investor Dmitry Slusar, it's for us to have a real perception of the actual perception of the reality, because what we have now is the product of the dozens of years of work of Dr. Unitsky, and we are a part of it. Well, we can, some might say small or big part. We are all taken individually small, but together we make a huge community. And as Dr. Unitsky says, without us, it wouldn't have been possible. And because of that huge effort, now we have the results in GTI that the GTI achieved. And now this is also that led to the recognition of Dr. Unitsky at such an international level. I also see some comments in the chat. Investors, our partners, are asking when you're going to have dividends, capitalization, etc., etc. Dear colleagues, let's be objective about what's happening. You see, the results are already there. We just, even there's another movie, film about Karat. Did you watch it? The documentary, 30-minute documentary about Karat that showed the actual complexity of creating just one element of the string transportation technology, the track, right? The track structure for this type of transportation. But at the same time, the location was very difficult, very hard in terms of the weather and climate. Who watched that movie? Please tell me in the chat. Someone says it's a cool movie. Unfortunately, it's short. Yes, 30 minutes. Seems like short. Yes, it seems short to me as well. But I'm sure there will be a lot of other films made about other types of tracks and rolling stock and about the work performed by Dr. Unitsky's team. So let me read it out. I saw it, I watched it, very cool. Someone says, it's in my wait list. Yes, it's been just a day since it was published, but already 4,000 people watched it. Someone says it was very interesting. I watched it and couldn't stop crying. Well, yes, for the investors, it is a very good movie that you really can't stop crying while watching. It was very emotional for me too to see it all. And there is an explanation for that, because I remember in 2018 I was lucky enough when Dr. Unitsky received the opportunity to start creating his R&D center, received the land for it. I won one of the people who came to that land back then, and I remember the desert that the movie talked about. Dr. Unitsky took a wooden stick and showed how it's going to look like. He said, here we're going to have one terminal, here we're going to have another terminal, here we're going to have the track, here we're going to have the house, here we're going to have the access roads. So he all drew it on the sand. And when I saw the Karat film, I walked down the memory lane and I remembered it all. And indeed, friends, it was very emotional. But I guess it will be emotional only for people who believed truly that in what Dr. Unitsky was doing. And that film, someone is asking, where can I watch it? You can watch it on the official YouTube channel of UST. We have a link in our newsfeed already, in our Telegram channel, on our website, on RSW Systems website. So yes, you can watch it if you follow the link, and I'm sure you will be as impressed, will have the same impressions as those people who already watched it. So currently, friends, I wanted to say one more thing. You all know that we're getting ready to move on to the updated platform, Micron Global, and we're gonna have an updated marketing plan. We are going to increase the commission for your agency work, for you to be able to build your career, to actively get involved in the network business, to build your career for dozens of years ahead. And we need to understand, guys, that there will have a lot of work ahead of us in the crowd investing area. And I'll explain you why. Dear colleagues, we have a very successful case when combined, united by a single idea, in this case, help implement UST through crowd investing, did so, and we implemented that project. Now the company has two commercial projects ready for application. And now let's take another project, also authored by Dr. Unitsky, which is Utera Biohumus, humus, a very cost-effective project with a high return on investment project that can re-fertilize any soil, even desert soil, and the products grown on the on that soil with the humus are very organic. Utera is the commercial name for it. So this is yet another project that has already been implemented, and it's been already at least 6 months since the production was launched and the company went through certification and now can work across the entire MENA region, Middle East and North Africa. And we're talking about only two regions here, Belarus and the United Arab Emirates. But that project is needed, that product is needed everywhere because people who live in the country, they have their gardens, orchards, they have land to plow and things to grow. In the United Arab Emirates, people use it to grow palms, to have their private lawns. They fertilize their lawns with humus and then they irrigate it. So what I'm saying here is that we can use crowd investing and our Micron Global platform to further expand our investment portfolio related to Dr. Unitsky's technology. And it is our possibility also to work, to do our business in that area. And the result that Dr. Unitsky obtained in the area of space engineering, non-rocket space industrialization, this project is about the entire planet and it relates to every citizen on that planet. Just imagine sometime in the future, and I'm sure it will happen, and we'll see it, all of us will see it, we will start using crowd investing to launch that technology too, to kickstart, sorry, that technology too. And by that time, the technology will be already scaled up and will be growing. Even if we just take Eastern Europe and CIS region, the number of projects, the projects number in dozens. There are already dozens of projects out there. We have Aquarel already implemented. There is another project being implemented where the customer is a highest state agency. And there will be more and more projects incoming. And as ChatGPT said, it's a long time R&D cycle, like testing, research, implementation, certification, but it's already ongoing. And all of it is following its logical chain of events. So going back to what I mentioned in the beginning, right now we are getting ready for the transition to the updated platform Micron Global. And our task in that transition period, in that responsible time when the UST is going into the market and is becoming recognized at the highest level possible, now through crowd investing, we need to help the GTI company perform its operations on a regular basis. I'm talking about regular, stable work of the entire staff. And that work involves payment of salaries, rental of land, lease of land, for example, in Sharjah, payment of taxes because the company works in dozens of countries. Just take the marketing representative offices. It's India, Malaysia, United Arab Emirates, Moscow office, and they will be expanding. I'm sure the company will be going into the African region, European region, because without marketing expenses and offices, the company won't be able to scale up. So, friends, all of it is on the shoulders of GTI company, who is the owner of the entire structure of UST. But we do remember that the company already starts receiving income from the existing projects, but also we would like to receive our payback, our payouts. And for that, we need to use crowd investing to attract new investors to make sure that GTI continues its operations and continues to finance the stable operation of the entire group of companies. And I'm talking about here, first and foremost, the UST Inc., which is the engineering company, the heart of the project, and then other adjacent companies. So right now, we have exclusive discounts. Let me remind you of those discounts while we're getting ready for the launch of Micron Global. When Micron Global is launched, there won't be any discounts higher than 100, I'm sure. And right now, we have discounts ranging from 70 to 144. And we don't know which of the projects will give that rapid growth of capitalization of the string transportation technology. Well, let's theoretically assume that the project that was recommended by this scientific expert council, a track between Minsk and Moscow, might cost billions of dollars. It can be the springboard for the rapid growth of the technology. And that might not be, there might be other projects of similar level. Remember my meetings where I said, if just one first commercial project appears in a country, they will start growing like mushrooms after the rain. It will be like a snowball effect. And I'm really not envious of Dr. Unitsky because he's going to work really hard, even harder. He will have to expand his engineering school because the current personnel simply won't be able to handle all of it. Just take a look at the Karat film alone, how many people worked on the Karat project. Well, of course, it's one thing when it's tested, certified, launched. It's easier after that, but at the same time, don't forget that Dr. Unitsky is improving his projects, his scientific and technical substantiation. So what I'm saying here is that the scope of work performed by GTI and UST is immense, and it requires regular funding. And our activity in the crowd investing is the key to stable operation of the entire company and also the key to our future success. We are like very, very much interrelated here, like two links in a chain. So GTI depends on the crowd investing success and the other way around. So in Micron Global, dear friends, let me remind you, there will be exclusive projects and technologies also to be funded through crowd investing, Dr. Unitsky's technologies, but also we're going to have an exclusive tool for promoting string transportation technology. And that tool, friends, will give you that kickstart, that boost to your work to make sure that as many people as possible learn about this technology, support that technology, and become investors and members of your team. Probably many of you already realized that I'm talking about the Admix Reality app that we successfully tested within our first focus group. And those people who used it correctly and did everything that they needed to do, they got very big results. And I would like to share those results with you. And after that, I will give you some very important information. And I will also announce when there will be another announcement of the second group, because it will give you a huge boost while when Micron Global is launched. Because remember, this will help you build very quickly your partnership network. So I would like to take 10 minutes of your time for that video. And after that, we will take some more minutes to wrap up our meeting afterwards. When you describe something, people imagine it in their own way. Listening gives one impression, watching gives another. Not everyone is a visual thinker, and not everyone can picture how it might look in their own city, in their own surroundings. Of course, I can talk about second level transport, but many people simply won't understand what I mean until they see it. In less than 1 minute, you showed me more than your friend explained in almost an hour with a brochure. I got it. Don't run a business blindfold. You should be able to see it. We made a point of showing familiar places, but through augmented reality. The project stops being abstract, it takes on real scale and sparks genuine interest. It's better to show someone once so they get a clear idea. And this is where Admix Reality comes in. When we use augmented reality, the brain sees it as something real, something tangible. It's like a seed of information planted in the mind, and where it takes root, logic follows. This is real. This is possible. Admix Reality is a technology without borders, a powerful tool that does huge work at a high level of quality. It builds a sense of trust, and that trust is what makes this tool so effective. We help people grasp the essence of Unitsky's transport. It turns imagination into a clear vision and understanding of your proposal. With the app, it's so easy to show people the technology. I quickly learned to use Admix Reality thanks to the focus group's all-round support. It makes connecting with people easy. That very first contact with this tool leaves a strong impression, whether it's face-to-face with friends or with people you've never met before. Some weren't even acquaintances, and now they've become my friends. We connected through this app. It works just as well online, in social media, in building a personal brand. Content created with Admix Reality gets 30-50% more views and engagement. This tool makes it possible to reach huge audiences. The company itself also uses it to showcase the potential and real-world applications of this technology in commercial projects. It's easy to master. All a person needs is a little practice. No difficulties. It's accessible to everyone. First demo, first deal. She went outside to practice with the Admix Reality app. Met her neighbor, showed it to her. That demo ended in a deal. An installment plan was set up and 3 payments have been already made. With this tool, you don't need to talk too much. Sometimes it's best to keep quiet. I had nearly 100% conversion. We gave presentations, and of course, people signed up. I had 11 registrations in just 5 days, easily. 10 people bought packages. 2 paid $500 in full. 6 purchased $500 packages on installment. And 3 took $1,000 packages on installment. That's the result in just 5 days. Without the app, I could never do it. No question. No more dry presentations, only vivid, live impressions that stick in memory and deliver amazing results from the very first seconds. It's much easier to talk to people, much easier to explain the project. It's a powerful tool that expands your possibilities. I always use this app to present the business. 30-40% of people sign up right away. I had about 100 contacts. This is the result of using the app only for the first few weeks. In Dubai, I showed it to a sheikh, the cousin of the emir of Sharjah. The reaction was immediate applause from the whole group. It removes skepticism and awakens emotion. The first time I showed it in the courtyard, the other guy was stunned. His mouth dropped open. He leaned right into the screen. That's when I realized this is what we need. That's when I knew we must use it. I use it all the time, and people immediately get drawn in, then become supporters of Unitsky's technology. I showed it to a close friend. He bought a $2,000 ticket. And that's it. You've gained a partner, a first-line client. You've earned commission, and the person has become an investor. A spontaneous demo to an Uber driver. I showed him the technology, and he got so engaged that a week later he called me, traveled 500 kilometers, and became an investor. It's easy to duplicate, easy for anyone to do the same. As soon as Earl started using this tool, 50 people joined his first line. I'm almost blind. If he alone could bring in 50 people, then each of you can achieve similar results and then only grow. Just imagine, if each of those people also had this tool, each of them would bring in dozens more to their first line during the same time, and dozens would be added to the second line. With this tool, the growth really becomes exponential. So your structures, the number of people, the number of investors in the technology will keep growing and growing. That's what I wanted to emphasize, and I want you to see the potential built into this tool. It works flawlessly. You only need the will to use it. It only works for those people who actually use it. The faster it's duplicated, the faster your team expands. With this app, it's easy. It makes our work easier. This is a creative business tool, a new style of communication, a whole new way of thinking. Now is the perfect time for this tool to take the stage. Right now, considering that presenting UST technology and the investment offer behind it is much simpler, thanks to the company's achievements. Don't wait for others to decide. Learn how to use it properly now and show others. Look, you can put it here. This is where we need it. And with this tool, you can do it simply, easily, effectively, and fast. This tool is for everyone, and it has to be used because we are at the stage where everyone should know about the possibilities of Unitsky's technologies. So this technology can reach our countries, our cities, and the places in the world that need it most today. Alone, we can't do much, but when we join efforts, we can achieve anything. Dive into this technology, apply it into practice, and then move forward to other things. I needed this tool. Personally, I really needed it. I was looking for something exactly like this, something to help me share this technology with people in their own environment. So when I had the chance to get this app, I didn't hesitate for a second. I got it and I started working with it. It came just in time. People really needed it. A unique tool. There's no other way to describe it. And most importantly, friends, it will be available to anyone who wants to promote string transportation technology and bring in new investors. Now each of you has the chance to be first, anywhere in the world, at any time, to show or create content with UST technology and promote it in your region. Our audience is a community of business-minded creatives who choose to speak about UST technology in the language of visuals and innovation. It's no longer just a tool, it's a new lifestyle. Admix Reality is a true game changer, and this is only the beginning. So, what kind of a summary I would like to make after we watched it. So, going back to the times when we didn't have anything, we just honestly believed that Dr. Unitsky will make it and we will help him do that. We had nice pictures, we had nice visualizations, 3D renders, how it's going to become, but we spent a lot of time convincing our people on making presentations, on showing them videos. It took us hours. Today, friends, we have all the tools at our disposal to make sure that our people, the people that surround us, that we talk to each other, that we talk to every day, would become investors in literally in a couple of minutes. How does it happen? Quite elementary. You show people what they didn't see before. And after that, it's like an eye opener for them. They can see it visualized and it makes them dive into it. As you could see from the feedback of the partners who in the video, it happens in a matter of minutes. And then you show them what has already been achieved by GTI and the UST group of companies, what Dr. Unitsky's team achieved, and you tell them it's already a reality, the reality. So after that, those actions, after that algorithm, do you think there is a chance that the person will turn down your offer? And the offer is for them to become a co-owner of the high technology sector forming innovative technology that has the potential of becoming $1 billion industry in the next couple of decades. In my opinion, there is a very small chance or no chance of them turning your proposal down. And all of it taken together will give you, dear colleagues, an awesome result in terms of your network growth. And those of you who are actively attracting investments, you know that most importantly, it should be duplicable, that your actions could be done by others because we're all unique. Someone is a people's person. It comes easy to them to talk to people. Someone enjoys doing it. Someone doesn't. Some people don't like convincing people. That augmented reality app, you don't need to have those skills. The tool will do everything for you. So I won't spend too much time talking about it, but let me tell you this. On the 21st of October, in exactly 10 days, we will launch a second focus group. And all the information how to join that group is now in the chat. Dmitry shared with you. Also, all the links there. Also, in the recent 2 weeks, we had the series of all the interviews, pieces of which were cut into that video. So if you haven't watched those interviews yet, please do so, and it will help you get better idea, better understanding of the app. Watch all those videos, see yourselves what kind of results our partners who used that app received, those who were part of the first focus group, and do not miss out on your chance before the Micron Global platform is launched to learn how to use that app and to make it into get enrolled into the second focus group. It will be held for 2 weeks from the 21st of October to the 5th of November. It's going to be quite an intensive training, a very short, very on point training and result oriented training. And when we launch the Micron Global platform, your results will simply propel you forward ahead of everyone compared to those who won't use the app, who will either because they didn't hear about it or didn't want to. But let me assure you that all the active partners will be using that app because it wouldn't be reasonable, rational, not to use that and to miss out on that opportunity. So, friends, right now it's almost mid-October. We're actively getting ready to launch our platform. We have a promotional offer right now related to rebranding, dedicated to rebranding. We have all the tools at our disposal to show more, to be more active, to lay the grounds for the new milestone, new age in the area of crowd investing for the technology of Dr. Unitsky. And right now, it is very responsible, very important stage. And now let's put together a strong team that will be using all those tools. And only by doing it, we'll be able to achieve a huge, awesome result. So, dear colleagues, this is it from me. And I was really happy that I got the chance to invite Dr. Unitsky live to our meeting. It was a really happy occasion that we were able to hear firsthand about very significant achievements by UST, GTI, Dr. Unitsky's group of companies, because we need to understand that UTerra, for example, and the non-rocket space industrialization projects are part of the Unitsky's company, group of companies, which is a separate company. But as for GTI and as for specifically string transportation, this is a huge achievement that happened, the meeting that happened yesterday. And in the near future, official information will be published on all the websites with the photos, documents, and minutes that were drawn up. We will all be able to read it, familiarize with it. People are asking how to get enrolled in the focus group. We will have it in our Telegram chat. And also you have the link in the chat if you scroll up. So again, all the information will be published regarding the enrollment in the full group in our Telegram channel. It's already there, by the way. So dear colleagues, thanks again for your active participation. Let me remind you again that we will have our meetings on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern European Time, Minsk, Moscow, Kiev, so that all the people would be free in the evening. They wouldn't have any work-related obligations or duties. By 7 p.m., people are already getting ready for the evening. And this is also the most effective and the best time for such kind of meetings, for this kind of information. And by doing it, we will kind of free the weekdays for the focus group, because only 10 days left before launching that focus group, and we will have at least 4 joint meetings together with Dmitry, trainings, during which we will be sharing information and teaching you how to correctly use that app to get the same results as the participants of the first focus group who shared their feedback in the video that you just saw. So have a nice evening, dear friends. Have a nice tomorrow. And don't forget that we have a lot of responsibility now to continue our support to the string transportation technology and GTI company in ensuring the stable operation of the entire group of companies in this important period of time. And news, as you can see, speaks for itself. So I see your feedback, words of thanks, etc. Yes, I would like to thank you for your work, for your hard work, for your efforts, for sharing part of yourselves for our common cause. So bye-bye, everyone. See you in 1 week, which is going to be the 18th of October, next Saturday. Bye-bye.